1, I said I would push you on the swing after I'm done with my coffee. If you keep asking, I'm not going to push you at all.
Are you seriously trying to use that as a correlated or logical consequence? You are trying to use that as a punishment. Obviously, she has a need for your attention right now. Just put down your coffee and go push her on the swing.
No, actually, I set a boundary, and not that any parent owes you any justification for how they choose to raise their children. This is just something that I have as a part of my self-care, and they can wait while I drink my cup of coffee. It's 10 minutes.
Well, maybe if you got out of bed the 10 minutes earlier, you could be the mom that they actually need.
I have so many things I want to say to that, but first off, not every single one of a child's desires is a need. Some of them are literally just wants, and I help my children distinguish that difference between a want and a need. Additionally, even if we didn't have a swing set, if we sat inside and watched TV all day and I let them eat junk food, the biological connection that they have with their biological parents is so important. Study after study shows that children are far better off if they are with their biological mother and father. It is an imperative relationship. So to say that somebody else could be a better parent for my children because I want to sit and drink a cup of coffee for 10 minutes as they wait to be pushed on the swing is just ridiculous. And you're doing nothing but shaming moms for taking care of themselves.
If you weren't ready for the sacrifice it takes to have children, maybe you shouldn't have had any.
That is an incredibly pessimistic view of parenthood. Just because I became a mom doesn't mean that I'm suddenly not a person. Now, if you'll excuse me, my coffee is gone. And if we hadn't had to have had this conversation, I could have been sitting here quietly enjoying it because my children do understand what our consequences look like in our home. So they had stopped asking if I could push them on the swing while I drank my cup of coffee. So I am going to go push them, and I hope you have a good day. So I would think and hope that it would be fairly easy to say that in an ideal world, all children would be able to remain with their biological parents and that their biological parents would get along, that they would love each other. They'd be able to demonstrate love, peace, patience, exemplify what an ideal home life situation would look like, right? Like in a perfect world, there would be harmony, there would not be dissent, there wouldn't be all these things, right? Divorce would not have to happen. Some people might say in an ideal world, like marriage wouldn't even exist. I don't know. But like from a Catholic point of view, ideally, there would be there's a moral and philosophical argument that children have a right, an inherent moral right to have a mother and father. And so anyway, but there's a lot of research that goes into this. And in my video, I in no way if my husband and I die, obviously our children are going to be better off with another loving couple. Or if my husband dies, they're going to be better off with a replacement father figure or whatever. No one could replace my husband. But this whole idea of still having that steady, consistent, stable father figure in their life, they're still going to be better off with a step parent. But ideally, my husband would have never died. He would still be alive, and in that perfect world, our relationship would still be able to be flourishing. I want you to look up this study though. It's CLASP. Are married parents really better for children? What research says about the effects of family structure on child well-being. It goes through a whole slew of different questions and answers. It goes into widowed parents and, step parents, all the different aspects, right? But it looks at the research. So if you Google this article, in the summation of it, you'll see that what children need most to thrive is consistent, stable, loving attention from two parents who cooperate and have sufficient resources and support from two extended families, two sets of friends, and society. That marriage is not always a guarantee of these conditions, however, and it can exist in other family circumstances, but they are less likely to. So of course, in any research, we're always going to see exceptions. Nothing's going to be true across the board 100% of the time. And I also think it is prudent to acknowledge that it is nature's design. It takes a man and a woman, a sperm and an egg, to create a child, and that man and woman's DNA is within the child. And with that, it's confusing for people who share that DNA, say through a sperm donor, who find out as an adult that they have over 1,000 half-siblings. I've read articles on this where people are it's confusing. They're hurt, they're lost, they're who is my family? What does this look like? And there's this confusion surrounding it because we are inherently wired for our biological parents. And whether it's a relationship that was ended by death or by choice, it is still a relationship that is mourned.